They say women want emotional men. But here's what they never tell you. They don't fear men who cry. They fear men who feel everything and still choose nothing. Welcome to Darkside Demeanor. If you're not just here to get tips, but to evolve into a man who commands his inner world, then hit subscribe, hit the bell, and stay dangerous. Let's talk about a man who doesn't just love differently. He moves differently. The kind of man women can't forget. Not because he chased, but because he never flinched. Section 1. The man who sees the game and doesn't flinch. Most guys do two things when emotions rise. They panic, trying to fix, or they shut down. Cold, distant, fake stoic. But the emotionally intelligent man, he doesn't do either. He feels, but he doesn't react. He watches like a sniper. He doesn't play defense. He plays chess. She gets distant. He doesn't chase. She gets cold. He doesn't explain. He leans back into silence, like a monk in a storm. Why? Because he's not here to pass her tests. He's here to observe them, and that terrifies her. Not because it's toxic, but because it's untouchable. In the words of Machiavelli, he who controls himself is harder to conquer than a city, and she feels it. The more she tries to provoke, the more calm he becomes. Most men get pulled into emotional whirlpools. He becomes the ocean floor. Section 2. He validates himself, so he never needs hers. Imagine a first date. She throws a slick comment your way, questioning your job, your goals, your past. Most guys, nervous laugh. Ha ha ha, yeah, I guess I do need to work harder. But you just smirk, pause. Interesting. And move on. No defense, no collapse, no need to prove. Because here's the truth. You don't need her to like you. You already chose yourself. Let the insecure dance for approval. You stand still and let the world orbit around your gravity. That subtle power, it drives her insane in the best way. Machiavelli said, "He who seeks to please will always serve." Translation: if you make her validation your god, you'll live like a servant. But the emotionally intelligent man is a king in exile. Not flashy, not needy, just whole. Section 3. He reads her, but doesn't need to fix her. Here's what unsettles her. A man who sees her fully and doesn't try to control her. She's moody, distant, passive-aggressive. Most men either blow up or back off. But you ask once, "Something on your mind?" She says no. You nod. Cool. You leave space, not to manipulate, not to punish, just to be. And that calm, it's like a mirror she can't break. Suddenly, the usual drama loses its fuel. Because you don't feed the fire. And when you don't feed the fire, guess what? It burns out. You're not ignoring her. You're refusing to become a pawn in her emotional chessboard. And that is terrifying. Because now, she has to face herself. Section 4. He leads conflict without raising his voice. People think emotional intelligence is soft. Nah, it's sharp, precise, deadly. When conflict hits, you don't explode. You speak low. You move slow. You ask questions instead of hurling blame. She shouts. You blink. She accuses. You respond like a surgeon, not a soldier. Machiavelli would say, "A prince must learn how not to be good when the situation demands it." You don't need to win the argument. You win by refusing to play their game. No chaos, just clarity. And if she's addicted to dysfunction, she'll either rise with you or vanish. And both outcomes are a win. Section 5. He doesn't fear her emotions. He holds them. This part right here. This separates boys from kings. She's emotional, maybe even chaotic. She wants to test you. She wants to see if you'll fold. Most men either flee or try to match her fire. But you You become the container. You hold her fire like a steel box. You don't try to fix her. You don't try to silence her. You guide the emotion without being drowned in it. That is masculine leadership. Not dominance, not submission, just pure grounded presence. And it's rare, and it's attractive, because suddenly she feels something new. She's not just seen, she's safe, and that scares her, because it means she's no longer in control, but she doesn't want control anymore. She wants you. Section 6. He can walk away without breaking down. Here's the ultimate flex. You can love deeply and still let go without noise. The emotionally intelligent man, he doesn't explode, he doesn't ghost, he doesn't try to win the breakup. He simply accepts what is, grieves silently, and then exits with peace. That terrifies her more than anything, because it means she never owned you. You chose to stay, and when the energy shifted, you chose to go. No regrets, no revenge, just clarity. And in a world where people throw tantrums just to avoid endings, that kind of presence is revolutionary. Before we close this chapter, I've got 3 unspoken truths, bonuses I didn't plan to share. But if you're still here, you've earned them. These aren't for the casual viewer. They're for the men who stay in the shadows, who watch quietly and walk out sharper. Let's get into them. Bonus number 1, the power of the pause. You want to know what truly shakes a woman? Silence, not the petty kind, not ghosting, but the calm, intentional pause. When she expects a reaction and you give space instead, it sends a message louder than any words. I don't need to control this. I trust myself to wait. Silence is pressure, and pressure reveals character. Use it wisely, not to punish, but to lead. Bonus number 2. Mastery is hidden in the mundane. The emotionally intelligent man isn't just sharp in conflict. He's sharp in boredom. He works in silence. He trains when no one watches. He makes peace with repetition. Most men look for dopamine. You look for discipline. Because while she's watching your charisma, she doesn't realize what's even sexier. Your consistency. Be dangerous in the spotlight, but be deadly in the routine. Bonus number 3. Attraction ends where neediness begins. Here's the final truth. Neediness isn't about how much you text. It's about what drives you. If your attention, your habits, your moods shift based on her validation, you've already lost frame. True emotional intelligence isn't just staying calm. It's staying in control when no one's watching. The second your day bends around her, your gravity weakens. So every morning, ask yourself, if she vanished today, would I still be him? If the answer's yes, you're untouchable. The dark power she never saw coming. You don't need to raise your voice to command respect. You don't need to chase to be loved. You don't need to play games to stay in someone's head. What you need: stillness, clarity, discipline, a mind that doesn't betray you, a heart you understand, a soul that doesn't shrink for anyone. When you feel deeply, but move calmly. When you understand emotions, but never let them own you, you become a paradox, not cold, but dangerous, not detached, but in control. A man like that, he doesn't walk into a room. He enters like silence. He doesn't raise alarms. He disarms with presence. He doesn't need attention. Attention follows him. And that's why women fear him. Not because he's cruel, but because he awakens something real. Safety and danger, warmth and command, depth without drama. He doesn't play the game. He redefines it. Final word: the Darkside dilemma. So don't try to be liked. Be real. Be grounded. Be unfazed. Be the kind of man who doesn't perform. He becomes. Be the one who holds his silence like a sword, who speaks with weight, not volume. Be the man who listens before he moves, who protects his peace like a father guards his child. And above all, be the man who doesn't beg for energy. He creates it. This is Darkside Demeanor. If this hit something deep in you, drop a comment. Say what landed. Click subscribe, because this is just the beginning. And if you've got a brother, a friend, someone who's tired of playing the nice guy game, send this to him. We're not building followers here. We're building foundations for men who don't break,